Yeah, recording is started. So let's take an overview of the document. Okay, so these are the default things. You should not worry about it. You will have some data.csv. Okay, so as you can see, there is some data.csv and there is some data here. So it is in the CSV, means comma separated values, right? So it will be in this form, right? It will be in this form. Okay, so okay, so now let me go this. So it is saying that the Python code must generate an HTML document named output.html, and an image is required by the problem statement in the current working directory. Program must take as input two parameters as command and arguments. Okay, so like what do they mean by taking inputs as command line arguments? So like I hope you have covered the content of week 3, but still I'm doing this. There was one tutorial how to route command line arguments. So command line arguments means that you are running this file, suppose. So this is Python space app.py, and I'm giving some this is command line, so I'm giving arguments here. So this is minus s space 1007 or something. It's like that, right? So I will be giving some name or whatever I can give. Okay, so this is not like this is the format of the lab assignment, but I can give some strings, right? I can give it like this. Okay, and how do you read it? You read it using sys. So we will need sys here to read command line arguments, right? Sys to read command line arguments. Okay, now second thing we will need is, as this is the Jinja assignment, so we'll need Jinja too. Okay, right. So it is saying that first parameter is minus s minus c or minus s or minus c. Minus s specifies that the second parameter is a student ID, and minus c specifies that the second parameter is a course ID. Okay. So what does it mean? It simply means that if minus s is there, I will have to render. So this assignment document basically says that if minus s I'm doing, minus s I'm doing, so I will have to uh, render the student details. Okay, minus s and some roll number I will have to give, because like if student details I'm asking, then I will have to give some roll number that I want, right? So basically minus s is telling that I want student details, and 1007 is saying that I want this particular student's details. Okay, so basically like exactly they mean by this line is that you will have to give input like this. So when the evaluation will happen, it will be also like this only. So like it will be in the run in the terminal like minus s 1007, so you can uh, check your code by running this command. Okay, so if it is minus c, then I'll give some course code 78 or something, right? Something sorry, this is here minus c 78, not 78, sorry, it is marks 2002 2001 or something. So minus c 2001 or something like this, right? So they mean by, yeah, Ankit.
Sir, your data.csv file, I think it doesn't have spaces after.
Yeah, I will do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
So when I'm yeah, so don't worry about it. I will mention that. Okay. So this is to read a command, Sinja 2 obviously, and yeah. So this is how output will be given, and based on this we will have to render some templates. How do we render some templates? So it is kind of a simple thing. So basically, why do we use Jinja, right? So the Jinja is like, I will not make it lengthy, as all the places have the explanation sessions, screencasts. Okay, so suppose some HTML file is there. Okay, so I'll just give you some small example, so you will understand that. Okay. So this head title, just ignore that. I'm not giving it right now. So some head tag is there, some body. So I'll just give body, right? So hello, uh, Darshan, let's say. Okay. So in like our subject's point of view, in like our subject's point of view, what is exactly? Yeah, nothing is done. I'm just giving an overview. So what is happening exactly? That I am telling my computer that suppose I am logging in. Okay, so when someone is logging in, it should just give this HTML page saying that hello and my name Darshan. Okay, so suppose now what is happening is now now suppose like I logged in. Okay, I logged in the uh, you know uh, server, and server is giving me back the HTML page. Okay, so but it will give hello Darshan. Okay, so now when someone called maybe Satya is visiting this. So HTML is like as you can see, how do I how do I modify this and make it to Satya? It's like every time I will have to some Satya and maybe someone called Gaurav. Like so every time, how do I modify this? How do I modify if it is Gaurav, it should be Gaurav. It should be if it is other name, then it should be some name that I give. It should be some name that I give. Okay. So HTML doesn't have a thing called variables. Okay. So HTML doesn't have a thing called variables. Like in where in in a place where you just save your variable, initialize your variable, save, give it a value, and keep changing it. Okay. So it's not like I will give some value name equal to something, and it will change here, right? It will not change here. Okay, so that's why we use Jinja. So Jinja is meant for like the first purpose of Jinja is to being able to insert some variable in the HTML document. Okay, so how do we do that? The steps are create one HTML page first. Create HTML page, right? After that, convert convert it into Jinja template. So when it will be converted into the Jinja template, it basically means that I'm ready to use that variables in my code. Okay, so we will see that. Don't worry about it. How do we convert it? What do we do? So we will see that. Okay, so convert it and render it by giving the values that we want it. So suppose I want to give hello in HTML only. Okay, so hello names like this. So it should change the name whenever I am rendering the page and giving it a new name. So suppose when I'm rendering, I'm giving it name Darshan, right? So it is rendering that hello Darshan. Okay, it should render that. So when I'm changing it to someone called Salman, so it should change it to hello Salman, like this. So what are the steps to do it? So create an HTML page. Okay, convert it to Jinja template, render it by giving the values that we wanted to. Create an HTML page with variables having curly brackets. So in Jinja, whenever you want to replace some variable, you will uh, you will give that variable value. When referring to HTML, you will give that variable value in curly brackets. Okay, so I hope till this everything is clear, right? So we will have to basically do what is just run this app.py, and I will do minus s. So sorry, Python app.py, Python space. Yeah. So I'm giving command line. Suppose I'm giving minus s. Okay. So the like Python code, what should it do? It should render the student details. How do we make this template? We will discuss about it, but it will just do the student details. After that, if you will put minus c, okay, we will put minus c, then it will just render this course details, okay, and otherwise it will just give wrong inputs. Okay, so right like this. So it should just render this, and it should be in one Python file only. Okay, referring to what condition is true. So suppose I'm telling that uh, if minus c. So if you have watched the TA session, we had a recording of that. So we had discussion that if minus c is there, right? How do we read it? I will tell you. If minus c is there, then render course wala template, right? Course template. Create one वो सब में कराएगा. Okay, we will discuss that thing, we will do that thing. Okay, we will do this thing, how to render, what to render. But basically the steps are like this. Okay, so if it is minus s, then we will do student details, minus c course details as it is. Okay, so this is your lab 3, uh, like lab assignment of week 3, right? So yeah, let's do some coding. So yeah, you will for this you will need Matplotlib also. So if you want to see some graph, then like this. Okay. So yeah, let me just a second. Okay. Yeah, recording is going on. Uh, the session is recording as it is on the calendar. Okay. Okay. So I hope everyone can see my screen. Coding terminal. Okay. So we will have to do some installations first. Okay, so we do pip install Chincha2, right? So it should be in there already. I should add, I think. Yeah, already satisfied. Okay, so pip install Chincha2 I'm doing. Okay, and I will have to do. Sorry, this is not the thing. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so let me start. Okay, so we installed Jinja2. So the first thing that I'll write is, uh, so first thing is we will create a template, right? So we'll be creating a template while we are coding. Okay, so that thing is there. But how do we convert the code into Jinja template? So I'll do from Jinja to, okay, import template. So this module will help us converting HTML templates, मतलब converting into Jinja templates, basically converting into Jinja, right? So this will do that, right? Now I imported this. So the very first thing that you will ask is, sir, how do we read this arguments, right? So there was a tutorial. I hope that you have seen that tutorial. How many of you have not seen that tutorial? Raise your hands. That command line arguments tutorial by Abhishek sir. Just raise your hands. Don't worry about that. Don't be ashamed or something or nothing like that. Okay, just raise your hand if you have not watched. Okay, I see. I see. I see. Okay. Okay, so around 6, 7. Okay. Okay. Nice. Okay, no problem. So I will just give you an uh, give you an example about it. Okay. Yeah, you can lower your hands. Okay. So to read this arguments, as I said, like when you are running this, to read this argument, we use this. So I'll just basically do the import of sys. So the sys will help us to read the command line arguments. How? We will discuss that. Okay. So this is to read the CMD arguments. Uh, words, but it understand its uses. Yeah. So now I think it is clear. Okay. So yeah. So just a second. Yeah. Okay. So we did this. Now we imported the things that we wanted. Okay. So let's import Matplotlib also. I will have to install that. Yeah. Okay. So let me clear the terminal and let me uh, import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. Sorry, pyplot as plt. Okay. So now all the requirements are good enough. Okay. So the first and foremost thing is how do we read the CSV file. Okay, so there are many ways to read the CSV file. Okay, so someone will use it will just they will just open the file and try to read it and all the things. Okay, so file handling is, yeah, file understanding the file handling for this lab assignment is important. Okay, so how do you open it? How do you basically run it and all the things. Okay, but don't worry. So the thing is, the thing we are gonna use is the CSV. Okay, so this help us reading the CSV values, this data. Okay, okay. So yeah, so this is reading the CSV values, and this is to plot the graph. Okay, okay. So now we are good enough to proceed. So let's open this data.csv file. Okay, and just read this data. Okay, so let's read this data. So I imported it. I'll do it. So like this, or the way to open the file is, the way to open, no, sorry, the way to read the file should be different, but it should just, at least do your work that you want to do. Okay. Okay, so I'm doing this. Oh, I'm opening it. Okay, and CSV file. Okay, and reader is equal to CSV. I'm using this function CSV dot reader. Okay, so opening and getting an output is, like, is a thing that is up to you, right? And let's create some variables. Now let's create it after that. So okay, so yeah, I guess we should run this now. Hmm. So as you can see, the CSV reader that I used, it is making it it is making one object. Okay, so this basically this reader function reads the CSV file and it makes an object of it. Okay, so maybe think I should just do this, I guess. Yeah, we run this again. Yeah, so as you can see, I converted that object into a list. Okay, so this, let me make it big. So I opened that file. I read that file using the CSV module, and it is now converted these things into like separate uh, separate lists. This is basically a list of lists. Okay, every row is a list, so I can now access any value I want, right? Who's this? It shows no such file in the directory. So like it should be in the same folder that the Python file is. Okay, so that is something that you will have to be careful of when you are doing this. So I have one folder opened. Okay, so as you can see here, I have one folder ta3. In that app.py and data.csv are together. Okay, so you should just do that, right? So yeah, I'll continue this. uh, okay, so let me clear the terminal again, and I hope this output is clear. So I'll be iterating in this list only. Okay, and I'll be fetching the values. Okay, so let me again continue with this. So now we will initialize some variables. Okay, so I will initialize some variables. So student underscore. So why am I doing this? I will explain it. Okay, so just a second. Student underscore course. How will I name this? Student underscore course. Yeah. Okay, and course underscore marks. So one list is for student, and one list is for course. Okay, so basically, okay, so yeah, yeah, we are good. So yeah, I'll do this initialization later. So the initialization later means, yeah, just let's keep it like this. So how do we read the command and arguments? Okay, so this is like this. So suppose L is equal to, I will say, sys dot argv. This argv means that the arguments that I have. Okay, so that the arguments that I'm giving. Okay, and I'm taking this println now, and let's run this. Okay, so app.py. Okay, so app.py, suppose space, I'm doing sorry. So okay, Python. So yeah, okay, so let's see what happens. So see, as you can see, the sys.argv is making a list of arguments that I'm giving. Okay, after that Python, obviously, after that Python, the list of arguments that I'm giving, it is just collecting these arguments. Okay, and making a list. So we can check it later. You can check it later. Yeah, Manish? Manish?
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
Hello.
Indra. Yeah. Ha, Indra.
Could you please don't argue?
Sorry.
Could you explain line number 26? Sys dot.
So that is only I'm explaining, right? Yeah, so yeah, so I will repeat myself. So see, the sys.argv is collecting the arguments that I'm giving in the command line arguments. I told you, right, to read this command line arguments you will need something. So the sys is the library that you will need to read this command line arguments, right? So nothing it is doing. The sys.argv is just making a list of arguments that I'm giving after Python, right? So only it is giving the arguments, nothing else, nothing else, right? So yeah, so suppose I'm doing sys.argv of 0. Okay, so it will give the first argument that I'm giving after Python. So as you can see in this list, it should give app.py, right? So let me run this again. Hmm, what happened? app.py, right? If I will give it number 2, then it should give 1007, right? It is giving 1007, right?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, okay. So this is about it. So we will save a list of arguments in order to check in the future. Okay. So I will make it sys.argv only. So only sys.argv will give you the list of arguments, and the sys.argv of zero of something. So it is basically it's a list, right? So it's just giving the elements that you are referring on. Okay, right? So this is the list. So let's rename it. So input list, let's do it. Okay, so input list is this, right? Now comes the first part is to uh, make a list of students and list of courses that I will have to show, right? So what I am following, what the method is I am following is, and what I think that is easy for me is, then I will read first. Okay, read the read the arguments first, right? Read the arguments first, and then based on arguments, do the calculations and render. Okay, so basically what I feel is what the convenient thing for me is that like I want that I will be clean. Okay, so I'm not calculating all the things in the start of the code. I'm calculating the things as per my convenience, right? So I'll be doing that, if it is minus s, then calculate. So I'll be doing that, if it is minus s, first it will be, if it is minus s, right? Okay, then calculate, then render. Second thing, minus c, then calculate, then render, right? And so the third one is the went something wrong one, right? So something wrong, right? Okay, so let's do the first task now. So what is the first task? That if it is the minus s, then we will have to do the thing. Okay, so what I will do is I will just check that if the argument is minus s. Okay, so I will say that if, just a second, yeah. So if uh, the argument that I'm getting, so let me shift this little bit down. Let me zoom in also. No, that is too much. Okay, yeah. So I hope you just zoom it a little bit from your meet also. You'll be able to see, because this is getting, yeah. So if, so what the input list was, this is dot argv, right? So input list of what argument I will give. So it was like something like this, right? It was like app.py space minus s space some number or something. So it was like this. Okay, so like this is 0, this is 1, and this is 2. So this will be 1, right? I'm comparing it to minus s. So if it is minus s, so one more thing is important here. Okay, so one more thing is important to note here. You can see the data type here, right? So the command line arguments, when you give arguments in the command line, when you give input from there, it is basically going to take it as a string. It is accepting, it is going to accept it as a string. Okay, so whatever you will give, so I didn't write any codes here, right? So it is just taking it as a string. So as you can see, 1007 is also as a string here in the list, right? So that thing is one thing that you should be careful of. Okay, that maybe you are not converting it into, and it is giving you error or something, right? So now I am checking that if this is minus s, then what I will do, So as you guys saw when I showed you this reader, it was a list, right? So it was a list, right? So I will be doing one thing, that I'll be iterating in the list. Okay, so I'll do for row in reader, right? So reader is my this thing. So let me remove it. It was just to show you the things. Okay, so if it is needed, then I will again you know make it as a list and show you guys. So yeah, so this is reading, this is an object. So now I am telling is that let's iterate in this. Okay, and I'm telling that if now I'll compare it. Okay, so if it is minus s, so if it is minus s, it should be like row of 0, the first element that I'm getting. Because of for row and reader. Okay, so total, I will have to calculate the total, right? Okay, so let me modify this. So maybe it is as good as this list only. Let me print it again. Let me show you guys that what we will compare here. So okay, let me just come in this one now. Okay, so I'll be iterating in the list, right? And I'll be comparing that if it is minus s, then its student ID I will be comparing. Okay, so I will say that this is a list, right? Okay, this put it in the same folder, but the same error is shown. Sorry, but I will have to continue this now. Let me just complete this first, and then we'll take the errors. Okay. So I think you should just code along, and maybe like you can just do one thing. Okay, you can just do one thing. You are using VS Code, right, Sarah? I guess you are coding along, so yeah, you will also this. Yeah. So just do one thing. Just create one text file here like this, data.csv like this, and paste that data here, right? Understanding what I'm saying? Okay, so just yeah, so just like create one and paste that data here. Okay, so yeah, so what I was telling is I'll be iterating in this list of lists. Okay, and I'll be doing that if it is minus s, then it is giving me the student ID also, that I will have to match. Okay, so the student ID also that I will have to match, right? So what I will do is I will iterate in this, and I will match if the student ID. Okay, so the student ID is the first one. Okay, so the student ID is the first one, so I will match this first ID. Okay, if it is matching with this argument. So if 1007 is same as something like this, right? So I'll be adding the marks. I'll be adding the marks. Right? It's as simple as that. I'm just comparing the student ID with by iterating in the reader that I read. Okay, and if it is the same as the ID given, I will be I'll be counting the total. Okay, so what I will do is I will just write that if input list of two. Okay, so let me bring back my code again. Okay, so for row in radar. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Okay, so like I'm comparing the values. Okay, so if just a second, session will be uploaded on the YouTube also, and it will be on the calendar also. Okay, yeah. So let me do one thing. Yeah. So if it is minus s, I will give the student ID. So if input list of two. So what is input list of two? Input list of two is uh, is the argument that I'm getting. Okay. So I'll use in row of zero. So I'm iterating. So okay. So I am changing. I am checking the first value there. Okay, and I'm telling that if the value that I'm giving you is in this value row of zero. Row of zero means that it is iterating in each the values, and it is checking this first value. Okay, right? If it is in that, then I will count the total, right? So if it is in that, I will count the total. So total is equal to zero. I will initialize. uh, yeah, yeah.
Actually, do we have to use the strip function here?
Yeah, I will explain. So if you are using in that, so basically I'm gonna explain that in the, like, when I just compute the total. Okay, so let me just complete this. Okay, yeah, I'll explaining this step thing. Don't worry about it, guys. Okay, so I'll be explaining this. Okay, so this was my approach to do the things, but I will explain all the approaches. Okay, so see now I'm counting the total. Okay, total plus equal to it will be, because as my id, as my the marks will be in strings. Okay, as you can see, it is in strings, right? So I will have to convert it into the uh, this integer, basically total करने के लिए, if you want to do the total, right? So if this input list of 2 in row of 0, right, then I'll be doing int of row of 2. So this is basically like this. Okay, so this is like course student id, sid, comma course, comma marks. So I'm matching this student id here, row of 0. So each list will have these three things. So I'm matching this sid here. I'm matching this. I'm not doing with course now, right now anything, but marks I am doing into converting into integer and adding to total. Okay.
No, sir. Actually, in the Discord, the sir told me that it's like we have to use strip because in the CSV file there will be space.
Yeah.
So that
I'm gonna mention that. Just give me a minute, please. I'm just gonna mention that. Okay, because my data was not in that. I was just completing the flow. Okay, so just a second. I'm mentioning that. Don't worry about it. Okay, and what I will do is student. Okay, so for each student I will compute the total if this is true. Okay, and I will do student underscore course, right? So this list, right, I will append this. I will append in this row. So this details, the student's details, I'm appending here. Okay, so now the important thing. Okay, so now the important thing that is here is there will be some spaces. Okay, so I'm not really particular about how it will be. Okay, but there will be some white spaces. I'm putting it random. Okay, so I don't care, because anyways I'm using strip. How do I use strip? I will explain. So I'm just giving, maybe there is a structured white space thing, but I'll just do it like this. Okay, so yeah, now there are some spaces here. So how do you compare it? Because if I will have to run this. So suppose I will run this, so it will be like this only. So let me do this. So 1001, there is not any space. After that, it will be a string space like this, 2000, right? Right, and here also there is some space, right? So you will have to, when you are comparing, when you are extracting from the lists, okay, when you are extracting from the lists, you will have to just do dot strip function. So this dot strip, whatever it will do is, dot strip will remove all the leading and trailing white spaces. Okay, so dot strip will remove all the leading and trailing white spaces. Okay, and it will be like the normal list that you can see right now here. Okay, at the right side. Okay, so like it's just I was waiting for to just one if condition to complete. So yeah, so this is the thing that you should be careful of. So that's why I'm using it as in here. Okay, so you can just strip it and compare it directly also. So see, what I am doing is, I'm not giving you the solution, right? I am just giving you a way to solve, a way to look at the lab assignment. I'm giving you the way to solve the lab assignment by discussing all the problems that you can face, and by discussing that, what will be my approach if I will solve this. Okay, so it's like that. Okay, so like it's like that only. So like suppose, like in other solver sessions also, sometimes it's like the approach that sir is using, you will use some different approach. So it's like that. Anyway, you will have to just strip it and compare it. So now what the important thing that I do is, row 2, so there will be some space, so I will just do strip here, right? So whenever I'm comparing something, okay, so I will give you a little tip. Whenever you are comparing something, you are doing equal to, or whenever you are calculating something, just execute this dot strip function. Okay, it will remove all the leading trailing white spaces and you will be safe. Okay, so finally, yeah, we use strip. Okay, so this is the strip, and like for me it is only the this this thing, this only the place that I need to strip. But whenever you are calculating something or exactly comparing equal to you are doing, so you should not take a chance in your lab assignment. Also, yeah, maybe there is something called, maybe it will have only one space or two space, whatever. Okay, so you should just, whenever you are calculating or comparing, you should just add strip. Okay, so yeah, so that being said, let's move forward. So I said that if it is minus s, I will calculate these things. Okay, so let me so I will not I will just complete one code. Okay, and after that I will run it. Okay, so it will be like that. Okay, so now I am telling that, if so, suppose there is one case that student found, right? So there should be one case that I did this iteration. I gave this command 1007. It is not there. Suppose, okay. Suppose I'm giving something like 5008. Sorry, number lock is on. Yeah. So suppose I'm doing something like 5008, right? So it is not there in the student ID. Student ID, yeah. Let's remember student ID this, course ID this, marks this. So student ID I'm matching. It is not there, right? So now I will do that. That if this, I'm appending the course details here, right? Course students details. Okay, so whenever I'm finding one student for row in reader, whenever I'm finding one student, right? So I'm appending the students details in the list, in a separate list. Okay, so for row in reader, I'm appending it in a separate list. So if, so there is one chance, right? Key, I will not find anything here. I will not find anything here, right? So in that case, if I will not find anything here, this will be empty, because we assigned here, right? Student course is equal to empty. So this would be empty. So in that case, if input, sorry, input list, no, sorry, if student underscore course is equal to empty. Okay, So codes is equal to t. What I will do is, yeah, so I will do one thing now, right? So when the student course is empty, this means that the id is wrong, right? So id is wrong. So in those cases where the credentials are wrong, we'll have to do one thing called we will have to just render the input wrong input thing. Okay, so you will have to just mention that this is a wrong input, right? So let's see how do we make template now, right? So I calculated, I calculated. I will just as I discussed in the steps, create one HTML page with variables are in curly brackets, convert it into Jinja template and render it. Okay, so in this there is a separate process. Okay, so let me just first create the template, right? So I will just copy paste this. Okay, there is nothing worrying about. So this is just plain HTML, and if you want to use multi-line string, you will have to use this three double quotes. So you can use like this. Okay. So this is my data. Wrong inputs. Something went wrong. Right. So this I will have to show in the dashboard. This I will have to show in the show in the dashboard. Okay, dashboard I mean the page that I'm visiting, or the command that I'm rendering. It will be generating one output.html, and I want, if student id is wrong, then I want this to render out this thing. Okay, and one more important thing is they said to write it in a output.html file, right? And after that you will have to render that. So basically what they are doing is file is equal to open. So I use file handling to open the file. Okay, so I will just use output.html. I think this should not cause any problems because it was in Python course, right? So I'm opening one file in write mode. I'm doing file dot write. So I'm writing this data into that file, and I'm closing that file.
Sir,
Yeah.
uh, yes, sir. I had a request. I joined a bit late, so sir, I had just a request if you could summarize in a minute also.
So nothing we did. We just imported the important things. Okay. So we did just import this. Okay. We imported templates. We imported Matplotlib. We imported CSV because we wanted to read the CSV files, right? So yeah, so this we did just imported, and I read the CSV file, right? So I will read the CSV file, and after that I will read it. It will look like this. It will look something like this. Okay, so it will be a object. Okay, but after you mention it as a list, it should be like this. Okay, so I am printing this. So I think I do not need this now. So I'm initializing to list. Okay, after that I'm taking the command line arguments from the server. So suppose I'm writing something like this. So this arguments, how do I read it? So this sys helps us in reading it. Sys.argv input list I'm taking, and it is giving me a list of arguments that I'm giving it to, right? And after that I'm saying that in the arguments, if the first argument, so arguments are like this is 0, so the list that sys.argv will return is this app.py comma com. Okay, so the list that sys.argv will return is this, like this, and as a string form. Okay, you will have to notice that it will be in the string form. Okay, it will be like this, right? Okay, and I'm checking that the first argument is minus s. Okay, and the id that I gave 0 1 2 input list 2 is equal to, matlab in row 2 means I'm just comparing it. Okay, in row 0, row of 0. So row of 0 means I'm iterating in the list. So see, See, basically, this is the reader. I'm iterating in this. Okay, so I'm telling for row in reader, each row. Okay, if you find the student ID, if you find the student ID, this is the uh, student ID. So if you find the student ID in this, just count the total of the course, and there are some spaces there. Okay, in the data.csv, when you are doing your lab assignment and when you are submitting it, there are some spaces. So you will have to remove the extra white spaces by calling this dot strip function. And after that, I'm appending the students details in the list. So if someone is found in this, okay, then the student will list will have some student details in there, right? And if something is not there, anything is not there, means that like I have given wrong inputs or something, so it will generate this HTML. So in order to do that statement, what was given in that, it was saying that output.html you will have to write into output.html, right? So I'm opening one file called output.html. I'm writing the data in it, and I'm closing that file. Okay, so it's like that. Okay, and if the list is filled with something, so it means that student details, is being matched. Student details is being matched. So it means that I will have to render one page that I showed you in the if you don't strip, how would our solution be wrong? So if you don't strip, when you are comparing something or doing something, so maybe it should cause problem, because you are comparing it, like you are giving this value as 1001, and it is comparing with like this. If you're comparing with, so it is like space or 1001 or something, right? So there are some things that you will have to be careful of. So it will just compare it like this, or something weird happens. So we will just,
Excuse me, sir.
yeah.
Your screen is
Sir,
not visible, sir.
My screen is visible, right? VS Code, you can see.
Hmm?
yes, sir, it's visible.
Yeah, it is visible indeed.
Sir, I
Okay.
have a question. Sir, the above code where you wrote open and then output.html, sir, do we already have to create that file in our folder?
No, no, no. When you are opening some file, in while you are doing file handling, when you're opening some file, if it doesn't exist, it will create one. Okay, so we need our Python code to create one. Okay, so it does not, need not be in our file. And also one more thing, like as you've seen in the document, it is given that you will have to submit only Python code, right? So it should generate new one and it should return. Okay, right? So I generated the data, okay, and I return in that file. So I'm not using Jinja right now. Okay, so I'm just doing that. If my student ID, if I want some student ID, if some student wants some student ID, minus s I'm giving. So minus s I give, and I want some student ID to I want some student details. Okay, so I'll be giving some roll number. Okay, if minus s is there, then I will calculate the total score. Okay, comparing that minus s value, and I will have one student detail list also, to make sure that students are there. So suppose something like 5008 I will submit, and 5008 is not found, then student list is empty, and there is some wrong inputs in there. Okay, so it's like that. Okay, and I'm just writing it. Okay, so I'm not rendering it right now. How to render it, I will do it, but just for now, just focus on this. Okay, so else means that student list have some IDs, have some part of the list. So something, this is there, this part is there, so there is a new list of these elements there, those who are matched. Okay, so data in this code is being read from the data.css, so we'll need to put in the zip. No, 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 you will have to just give the type.py code. Okay, so the thing that I'm doing is I'm reading it. Data.csv will be provided by the checker only on the portal. If you want, you can just, if you want to check only when you are using, like, only when you will use this, uh, it's when then you want to check. Okay, you will zip only your Python file, right? Yeah, so let me continue this. Else I'll be doing this page thing, student details, right? So yeah, so student details, what I want is I want some make this a multi-line first. Yeah, so I'll make some. Oh, okay. Student underscore courses. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me rerun this. There is some. Okay, so just a second. Just a second. Okay. Just a second. There's some indentation issues here. Let me just correct it. Yeah, I guess it should be good now. Okay. Student underscore course. Student underscore course. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Hmm. Yeah, so this is basically giving the error because see, so if you will directly run this python app.py, so you will have to be careful of this also. So if I will not give any arguments, because it is seeking one argument here, so it is seeking one argument here, you will have to give arguments when you are checking it. Okay, so minus s, suppose 1007 something. So just yeah, if errors are there, don't worry about it, but yeah, errors are not there. Okay, so let me clear the terminal. There are some indentation issues there, but yeah, no worries, cleared it. Yeah, so now let me continue. So h1 was student details, right? So yeah, I will create the student details h1, right? Now I will make a table. Okay, so it is just a code, html code. So let me, okay, yeah, let me do it manually, no problem. Okay, so student data, so we will have to have a table there, right? So in this, it doesn't matter, how the indentation is and how the structure is, but yeah, no problem, you can just make. So this is table row, right? So I'm making one row here. So h1 is student details. I'm making one row. This is I'm copying the document. In the document I'm given the, given this photo, right? So I'm just copying that only. Student ID, remove this, right? So this is a table heading, table header, right? Student ID, it will have course ID. Sorry for the keys. Okay, if I'm pressing it too hard, but marks. Okay, yeah. And now I will end this row, right? So I will end this table row. Now I will need that, I want that I will show every details. Okay. So I want that for every data in this student.course, for every data, right? For every data in the student course list, I will uh, show one row, okay, mentioning that separate template files for student details and course details parts, so it renders accordingly. Yeah. So no, template html file, no, nothing, just file. So this is creating one html file. As you can see, this is creating one html file. Okay, so it will create in on its own, and evaluator will check it. Okay, so don't worry about it. Yeah, so what I was doing, yeah, so I will how to basically iterate in this list, extract each value and show it here, right? Extract each value and show it here. So how do we do it? Jinja has for loop here. So Jinja syntax is, how do you render it? I will show you. But as I told you before, that this is used for variable, right, in Jinja, and this will be used as a condition condition. Okay, when you are using condition, you will use this. So basically I am using as for loop. I want to do, right, I want to iterate in the student underscore course list, right? So yeah, bear with me. Okay, so I will do for student in student underscore course, right? So I did this thing. After that, I have started this tr table row. I will, for each student in this list, I will do td table cell, sorry, table data, table cell, whatever you want to refer to. So student of 0. So when I said you are extracting some values, you are showing some values, just use strip, okay, to strip those extra spaces. Okay, so yeah, student of 0 dot strip, so that first value of that list. Okay, so that is the first value of the list, right? So if you want to be specific, so there is some list. Suppose I'm telling 1001 comma 2006 comma 67, right? So this is the sample. Okay, so it is in a list only, so it is list of lists, right? Comma, there is one more data saying 3004, right? Comma 2003, right? Now comma 89. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm iterating in each of the list, right? And I'm doing student of 0, it should show one part, then student of, so you can just see and compare the document. Okay, so I'm just like, I don't want to switch in between while I'm coding, so I'm just coding it fully. Okay, or you can just keep it like that. Okay, so student of 2, right, dot strip. So this is done. So it will, for each detail, it will create one table row, and it will create this thing, okay, for each thing. for each student detail. So we want that, right? His ID I will strip, okay, his scores and his marks. Okay, what's this? Okay. Okay. So in for loops in Jinja, you will have to be careful of only one thing, that you will have to close the loops every time. So if you will have to close the for loops, and you will have to close the if conditions also. Okay. So that is really necessary to understand, that you will have to close it. Okay. So I close this. It will give error otherwise. Okay. Right. So now what I'm doing is, I did that first heading, right? First heading, hedge, and the thing that I still will have to do is the total marks, right? So there will be one total marks column, row, sorry. So this is one row, right? And I calculated that total marks, if you know, right? So coal span is equal to, so this coal span is to combine the columns basically. Okay, so how it is looking, we will see that, but let me just complete this. Okay, so TD, I am using one cell table data, and I'm telling to just use two columns space. Okay, so we will see how it looks. Okay, so coal span is basically is to string the space. Now I will use one more data, and I will tell that paste here the total that I calculated above. Where where did I calculate the total? Here, as you can see. Okay, and in the variable form, because I want it. Okay, just a second. Whoever is chart box. Okay. Okay, so total and tr tag I will end it here. Now after that, I'm gonna end the table now. I'm done, right? So this is what HTML of which is given in the screen looks like. Okay, so now let's do this. Do this rendering. Okay. So what do I mean by the term called render? So let me just adjust this a little bit to make you understand, and you guys will not get confused. So this is TD. This is there. Tab. Okay. So yeah. So okay. So now we are done. Now what I want to do is I want to so see when rendering is needed. Okay, so when this output.html, so when this thing will be written in the output.html, and when I will open that file, right? So this is pure static thing. There are no variables here. Okay, so the main thing to note is here we render only when there are variables. Only when there are variables, right? So we render only when there are variables, because what do we mean by render, I will explain, don't worry. But it is the simple static HTML, right? So we don't need Jinja here to explain, exchange some variables or do some manipulation or blah blah blah, right? So like we don't need Jinja here, right? We don't need Jinja here. We just need Jinja when we are using some variables. Okay, when we are using some variables. So now let's do the syntax of Jinja. Now, so what I said, what were our steps? Our steps were to create one HTML page with curly brackets in it. Okay, convert it into a Jinja template. So how do I do this? So whatever I want to convert it into a Jinja template, whatever I want to convert it into a Jinja template, I'll just convert this, and sorry, spelling is wrong, and I'll pass that string here. Okay, I'll pass that thing here, and this will convert this texting into a Jinja template. Why we want to convert into a Jinja template? Because we want some variable things to happen in the code, right, in the HTML. So HTML is pure static thing. So how do you change it based on your preference, or like based on your some variable value you give, right? So it's like, when the variables are used, you will need Jinja. You will need to use Jinja to show that variables. Okay, as I gave the example of name. My name is Darshan, so every time I change the name variable, how do the HTML changes? So I am giving the variables here, right? All the variables here, and how I will give the value of it. Okay, so this is the main part. So I convert it into a Jinja template, and I will do output one is equal to temp, this temporary variable that I created, render, right? So what this render function is? So render function is that whatever the curly braces are, okay, you will give me the values in the bracket. You will give me the values in the bracket, and I will change it as per your preference. Okay, I will change it as per your preference. Okay, so as I said, if you have any conceptual doubts, you can ask in between. Raise your hands, no problem in this. Okay, so yeah, so when I want these curly braces to take the value that I want. Suppose I want some curly braces value to take name is equal to, name doesn't exist right now, but let me just, yeah, this type of thing. So it will change that value to Darshan. If I will say that change it to some value like this, it will change it. If I will say that, give it that this value, total value, so variable this will be also assigned. Okay, so name will be, every time I will render this, okay, this curly braces will take the value of this total. Okay, so it's like that. So now render is telling me that whatever you will give in my brackets, I will try to exchange in this Jinja template with the curly bracket when the curly brackets are. Okay, so suppose I'm giving that I want total, right? So total is equal to the total that I calculated above, right? So this total, I'm telling that this total should be equal to this total I calculated. Okay, so let me do this total me. Okay, and I will do this total. I will convert this into total me also. And I will convert this into a total me also. So I am telling that this total, every time I will calculate for new student, this total variable will change, right? So every time how Jinja will understand that I will have to change it. So I am assigning it that you will have to follow this value, total me. When the total me changes, and when I will render, you will exchange this value to this value that I'm giving. So render basically fills the blanks, and basically whatever you want to express as. Okay. After that, one more thing. The student underscore course is a list. So I will have to give that student underscore course, right? Student underscore course. Sorry, course. Okay, is equal to, right? And it is equal to the student course list that I made here. So this, right? So it is equal to student equal to course is equal to student underscore course. Okay. So now this is done, and all the variables have its value. So if you will not give, so this is really interesting. Okay, so if some variable called name is here, okay, so what the render function will do, it's like you are not giving the value here to exchange, like name will be what. So render will not understand, and it will leave it like as it is. Okay, If it can't find the value to exchange, or you will not give the value here in the brackets, it will not understand here. It will not understand here, and it will just ignore it. So this render will exchange the values and make one proper, output, right? And now I will write this output to one file. File is equal to open. Okay. So output dot html in write mode, as I said, and file dot write. What do I want to write? This, not this text, this rendered thing, this fill the blanks thing. So every time I render, it means that I am feeding the values, okay, as per my need, okay, as per my want. And I feed the values here as per my want, and I want to convert it into now an HTML file. So just render it, give me one HTML file, and I will write it in the HTML document. Okay. So yeah, so now minus s, some valid details are there, so this should be done. Okay, so now we are done with the first part. Okay, now we are done with the first part of our thing. Okay, and that is the student details. So let me run this whole thing that I written here, so that you guys understand why it is Python app.py. Sorry, yeah, 1007. Okay, it generated one output.html, as you can see, and this output.html has student id, course id, marks 1007, 2002, 99, whole span 2. So let me, so this generated. Okay, so for each detail, student detail, it did this. So this is the for loop, right? It did this. Okay, so now let me show you guys how it is looking. Where yeah, here. Okay, so let me show you. So I hope my screen is visible. Just a second. Yeah, I hope it is visible. So see how you can see this, right? Whole span means just occupy these two columns. It is occupying these two columns. Let me make table border also. Just a second. It will be easy for you guys to, just where is, yeah, okay, just, just a second. Yes, so I will refresh this. You can see the border. So this is occupying two columns. Call span is occupying two columns. Now, as you can see, this is the, similar as the thing that is there in the document. Okay, so we are done with the student part. Now suppose if I give wrong arguments. So imagine I'm giving 177 nothing. I'm giving 5,000. Okay, so now I am entering. Yeah, table when you are doing the table tag, I will show you that. Okay, so just a second, I'm changing the input. Okay, I am giving the wrong input, so it should give okay. So let me share my screen again. So let me refresh it now. So as you can see, I entered the wrong input, so it is giving wrong input. Something went wrong. Now I will show you the code. Okay, so just a second, because like I'm not sharing my whole screen, just because I will have to switch between the chats and all the things. So yeah, so this is giving this. Why this is giving this? Because I yeah, so I gave 5,000. 5,000 doesn't exist. Okay, 5,000 doesn't exist. That's why. Okay, so suppose I will give some value. I'll give some value 1,002. So this will also generate some output.html. So it is giving, it is working properly. And how can you check all the things is working properly or not? First thing, that you are computing the total, computing the student course. So you can basically print it here. Okay, so print the variable. Sorry, print the variable no. Uh, Print, what will print? Student underscore course. Nice, right? So I will just copy this and I'll paste here and I'll paste here. Okay, and total also let me print it for after for loop and total. So you will be able to see the total me. Okay, I changed it. So let me run it again. 1002. So see, the list is empty because it is. Acha, okay. So just a second. So this total is 165. Okay, and let me remove it. यहाँ पे नहीं देना था. Okay, after I append it, I should print both. Right. Okay, so student underscore course. Okay. Okay, so let me run it again. Oh, sorry. Mm. So don't press the run button. Okay, so it will like be really confusing for you guys. Sometimes it will give error. So see, the list is this, and this is the value. So you can just compare by printing and doing all the things. Okay. So yeah, printing is the most important thing. Okay, so you learned it in Python also. Printing is the most important thing that you uh, do. Okay, so yeah, let's do some. Yeah, so this student is done. Okay, Cold span as I said. Okay, so cold span as I showed you in the HTML page, right? So I showed you in the HTML page that when you use cold span 2, that means that I am occupying two columns. I'm occupying the two columns, right? So sorry, I will have to refresh. Yeah, so this two columns, if I want my table data to occupy these two columns and take the space of, so if you can see, there is no partition here. So cold span is just combining these two columns, nothing else. Okay, so I hope it is clear. So time is flying. I should just focus on coding. Just a second. Yeah, so now course is done. Okay, so the same way we will do the student is done, course we will have to do, right? So it's like I compare this, I compare this, I compare this. Now I will compare the new thing, right? And I will start the course code. Okay, so if the course thing is there, then I will do the course. Just a second. Yeah, so now I'll make this course thing a little fast because all the things are same, right? So I will not have to be specific about it. So input underscore list, the list that we are getting. Okay, so what is this? Oh, okay. 1 is equal to C. So this is the argument that I'm reading, that I'm saying that if it is not S, then it should be C, right? Why? Why? Indentation. Acha, okay. Sorry. Okay, then I am giving the values like. Yeah, so the thing is, you will have to be careful with the indentation also. Okay, so you will have to do these S things only when the student input is given, right? You should not do anything related to student when you are doing the courses. So it should be all in this if condition. It should all be in one if condition, that minus s. If it is there, then do these things basically. Okay. Yeah, I'll just give this indentation properly and we'll continue. Okay. So yeah, I like to adjust things manually. So yeah, just a second. If and else will be else if. Yeah, it is one. Yeah. So who's there? Jinja and VS Code. I have downloaded the Jinja and Jinja 2 extensions. Pip install Jinja 2. I did in the session also, right? So you can do that. Yeah. So okay, so let me do the course thing. So how will I do the course thing? Course thing में मुझे क्या बोला गया है कि if minus c हो, if it is minus c, then I will be doing that average marks, right? So average marks and maximum marks I will show. Okay, I will show the average marks and maximum marks, and I will show one PNG file, right? So I will show one PNG file, like this. That PNG file means the graph. PNG file means that graph, right? So graph we will talk about later. Just later means just I will just complete after this complete this. So same thing I will do. If minus c is there, I will iterate in the reader for row in that list. Okay, remember that list that we did as output. Okay, so the reader is giving error. Reader not defined. Sorry. Okay, so yeah. If input underscore list of 2, so this is 0 1 2. So same thing I'm doing, that if input list 2 in row 1, so I'm comparing my input list 2, that my argument. So see, just want you to guys just remember the things: 1001 comma 2005 comma 4, something like this. And my argument is app.py space minus c and space whatever the id I want to give, 2001 suppose, right? So this should be my case. So yeah, see, now I'm telling that input list of 1 is equal to c. So input list of 0 1 0 1 is equal to c. Go in the reader, go to the list, input list 2 means this id, this course id that I'm giving. I will have to calculate the total and the maximum marks for the course id only. Okay, so yeah, so let me go ahead. Okay, in row of 2, so this is my row component, and I'm comparing this course id now. I was comparing the student id before, I'm comparing this course id now. Okay, now uh, let's just do it course underscore. So if it is there, then I will do course marks dot append. So as I said, I'm repeating myself. As I said, when you are calculating something, when you are extracting something, when you are converting something, so please use strip dot strip. And don't give arguments. Okay, it will just remove the trailing and reading white spaces. So I'm doing what? I am doing this course marks. I'm making a list of this course marks. Okay, and I'm saving it. Okay, because I will need to calculate uh, the average maximum and the average both. Okay. Okay, so now there are two cases in this, right? So if course marks is empty, so as I said, course marks is empty means there is some wrong input that I'm giving, right? As I said, there is some wrong input I'm giving, and that means that I will have to print the wrong input thing. So I will use the same code. Okay, I will copy paste here, right? Data is equal to this. I will write it in this. I hope you guys don't have any doubts in this, right? So if course marks is empty means that there is no match. And now our main thing. Okay, so let's do else only. Else. Okay. Now I will calculate the average marks. Okay. So average. I need two things, right? Average marks, right? And I need maximum, right? So from Python we know one thing. Okay. So we have sum function, we have length function. So we will use that. Sum of the list that I calculated divided by length of divided by the length of course marks. Okay, so this is the average marks. So what I'm doing is the course marks list I will get from here. So it will be the list of that particular course. It will be the list of that particular course. So what I am doing right now is I'm calculating the average marks and maximum marks. For that I'm using some function and length function. Okay, and for maximum marks, let me keep it same. It is max of this list.
Please, we
Who's this? Just type it. Okay, if your voice is breaking a lot. Okay, so I'll continue this. Else I'll be calculating the average marks. ऊपर मैंने like in the upper part, what did I calculate? I calculated sorry, I calculated the total marks for that student. Oh, sorry. Yeah, and total marks, right? So I calculated the total marks. After that, here I am calculating the average and maximum marks for that particular course. Okay. Okay. So now I want to show it in a HTML template. So how do I create one? So it's simple as this: course underscore data, right? Okay. So now let me use this. Live, no, it is not live, but recording will be provided soon. Okay, soon, like after I enter, like end the session. So I'm typing. So yeah, H1, right? So I'm doing H1. I'm doing this course details. Okay. So yeah, while I'm typing this HTML only, I wanted to just convey that, see, like it's that simple, right? So yeah, I know some of you will find it difficult, but if you understand, like if you try to understand properly and just try to do the things as said in the document and try to follow all the things, it should be like easy for you. Okay, easy for you to understand and easy for you to implement, right? So like just attend the sessions, right? So just attend the sessions, right? So like attending the sessions will give you the coding implementation that you need. So sometimes you will be discussing in the unofficial groups that yeah, the screencasts are really bad and I don't like this subject. So just go and watch the this instructor sessions, right? So in your exam point of view also, this instructor sessions are important. Okay, so instructor sessions will include some extra information that you may need in your exam. Some things that maybe you miss, some things that they know that you will be missing on, right? So like basically you will have to be careful of what you are you know doing while you are while you are coding something, right? So like what things that you should be careful of. Okay, they will teach from the scratch. So I will urge that just go through once. Okay, if you're facing any issues, like before like doing this 3 weeks lab assignments, lab 3 I'm doing. So before like I'll reach week 4, just please just like just go through the sessions, right? And what they are explaining and what they are conveying, that just you just have to understand that, right? It will be really easy for you to make these lab assignments and all. Okay, so now let's come back to what we were. So now I want to show average marks and maximum marks. So as I said, variable I will have to give variables I will have to give. So this is average marks. Okay, td maximum marks, max underscore marks. I will have to of course pass it while I'm so as we discussed. Okay, that is same story, that one rabbit was there, one turtle was there. So it's like that only, same long story, that variables I am passing as a curly brackets, since I use it as a curly brackets. When we are rendering, I will have to pass the defined variables. When I'm passing the defined variables, when I'm rendering, I will have to pass it. If I will not pass it, since I will forget it, blah 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 blah. Okay, so the same story. Okay, just rewinding the tape will help. Okay, so same thing is there, right? So curly brackets is there, I showed it. There's a simple HTML. I think that should not be any problem. And let's ignore the statistics first, and let's just do this only, right? So I will not do the photo. That is the last pass that is being left. Okay, after I will show you that in what form your submission should be, and we will close the discussion. So temp is equal to, so this is the same story. Okay, template, and I will have to pass whatever I want to convert into a Jinja template, because if you will not pass, it will take it as a plain string. It will not convert the variables, it will take it as a curly brackets. Okay, etc, right? So course data, right? So now I converted this into the template, and now I'm rendering this. So render means exchanging the values. I will have to pass the values. Okay, so all the things are, I hope, clear. So in this average marks, the first variable will be the one that you are referring to. The second variable will be the one that you want its value to be assigned to. Okay, so average marks, there is a value, comma, I'll pass max marks. Max marks, it's capital M, equal to maximum marks. There was a variable. Okay, so variable is max marks. I use this max. Okay, so max. Sorry, marks. Right. So I pass this value. Jinja will explain. Jinja will render it. Jinja will exchange it. Jinja will fill the blanks. Jinja will whatever term you want to use to make you understand that how the things will be. You can definitely follow that thing.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I have one issue in my VS Code. Through my CMD, I installed Jinja 2 and it is showing package installed. But when I'm importing it in my VS Code, it is not it is not
Okay,
there. The
so
package
if
is not.
you try restarting the VS Code. So like if something happens, something like this, see, when you're doing this pip install Jinja 2, so sometimes it's not able to find the module. So maybe you can restart once and check it. I'll complete this session. So thoda hi code bacha hai, okay, little code is left. Then I'll try to solve it. Okay.
Okay,
So
sir.
just give me some time. Okay. So yeah. So I'm rendering this, it will exchange the value. Okay, otherwise it will take it as a plain string etc. Okay, now I don't have to again do the same thing, right? And now I am opening the file. Writing mode, file dot write, what I will write, the render template, what is the render template, output. Oh, sorry. Yeah. And I will close this file. Don't forget to close it, it will give error. File dot close. And we are done, right? Except the matplotlib, we are done with our thing. You want me to run this? Let's run this. Python Python space app.py space -c space 2001, right? So this generated one HTML file here. As you can see, wrong input, something went wrong. So 2001 called course ID is there. What is problem? What is the problem? What is the problem? Python app.py. Okay, so maybe I forgot to use.
I'm not sure, but I don't think so.
Pen row 2.strip -c. Is there some error in our code or something or so? What 2001 I gave, right?
They may ask a question.
So
I would expect.
so yeah. So let's do one thing. So this has some spaces and it worked clearly, but this is not working. If course marks is equal to empty.
Sir, it is actually row 1, sir. Input.
Sorry.
It's row 1.
Row of one.
The index in the if loop input underscore list of 2 in row of 1.
Sorry,
86 line.
sorry guys, sorry. So this was two, sorry. This is one, yeah. So I'm comparing this, yeah, sorry. So yeah, see, like this mistakes happen sometimes, okay? So you just have to be careful of what you are giving.
And 87th line also, sir.
87th. 87th. Yeah, 87th is calculating the marks, no?
Marks, okay.
Yeah, so yeah, that is not the problem. This is the
Yeah,
problem.
sorry.
Thank you for pointing out this. So okay, so we are good. As you can see, maximum marks, average marks are there. How does it look? I will open it. Don't worry. Let's open 5000 minus C space 5008. It will give something is wrong, right? So it is doing the things as I want, right? Now the only thing is left. The only thing left is I will have to do the Matplotlib thing. Okay, so just bear with me. Let me just open it and show you guys how it is looking. Okay, so yeah, so I ran it and now it should show wrong inputs. Now let me give some correct inputs. So 2001, it changed. This also changed. Now table border, yeah. So someone was asking. So that's how you do. This border is 2. Let me refresh this. It converted in this. So it's the same as the document given, right? Now only one thing is left. The only one thing is left, which is the matplotlib. So let's do that. Okay, and we are done then with the lab assignment. Okay, just bear with me. There is only some 4-5 lines of code. So now if I have some data, I will have to show that here, right? So first let's convert it into let's make one graph, and after that I will make I will refer it into the HTML part, right? So let me do this calculation. So what we can do is that before closing this file, here. So I imported Matplotlib as PLT, right? So I'll do what exactly we want as a data. We want histograms, right? So we want the course marks. Okay, so how it is. So it's the list that I'm getting. I want to make a histogram of it. Okay, so I will do x is equal to course marks. So whatever you want to give, just initialize it once. If you don't want to initialize that is also not a problem. But yeah, it's good thing to make things a little uh, simple. So now I will do only two lines I will write, and I'm not able to see the screen. It's the same. Yeah, it is the VS Code. Let's give some reactions also, like it is visible, right? Hmm? Screen is visible, right? Hello.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Okay, yeah. So now I'm using PLT. PLT dot. Now I can use. I want to do a histogram, so I will use PLT dot hist. What hist? The X, the list that course marks list is. I want that histogram, right? So I want that histogram, and plt.hist will do that, and I want to save that. So plt, so I made the histogram using this made the histogram. I want to save this because I want to show this, right? So I will do plt.save fig, right? And I will do hist dot png. PNG is the format of the photo, JPG PNG, right? So you will, so first thing is making histogram, second is saving histogram, simple. Okay, and this is just the initialization. So these three things will make one histogram. Okay, and I want that histogram to appear, right? So after that table, I will do image. So it is PNG format, right? Of course. So I will give image. So image tag is used to show the images, right? I will do give this reference, and I'm done. I'm done with my whole code. Okay, I'm done with my whole code. So now let me open that at output.html for you. Let me run this again. Let me show you the things. Okay, so let me stop and share the whole screen now. Yeah. So okay, so this is my app.py, and I'm running whatever commands I want now. So see 2001. So it is generating. It should generate. Generated. You can see image source here. Now if I will go here and refresh it, you can see the histogram. So table border. Yeah. So I gave it in this. You can give it in this also. Space. So it will generate all the time, right? So table border two. Okay. Yeah. So okay. So let me. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We're good. Yeah, we're good. So this is the same thing that we did. Okay. Right. So yeah, with this we are done. Okay, let me show you the small thing that how do you zip it. So suppose this is your app.py, right? This is the file only that is needed, right? So you will right click, you will sorry, you will right click, you will compress, it will make one folder. Okay, and in this you will give this 0000931.zip. This is the thing that you should submit. Only the app.py. I will repeat myself again. I will repeat myself again. It is mentioning that only app.py, then only app.py, and you can just compress to zip again to 2f20000931 as a rename. Okay, so whatever is there. So this is the file that you should submit. Nothing else. Okay, and this code should like, yeah, don't try to copy if possible. Please just take your like code and try to solve the errors as I did. Okay, So try to read it. Okay, so as I was also making mistake, maybe you also made some small mistake there, right? Yeah, so with this we are done this. Let me just stop the recording now. Okay.